How dare you say no to your own sister, you ungrateful girl? My mother yelled, smashing a cake over my head at my niece's 10th birthday party, all because I refused to sign over my house to her and refused to pay her $2,200 every month. I stood up, wiped the cake off my shoulder, and said, "You have no idea what I'm capable of." The entire room went silent. My name is Laura Kim. I'm 32, the younger daughter, the capable one, the one who forgets to ask for help because I learned a long time ago no one was coming to save me. I'm an administrative coordinator at a community clinic. I pack my own lunch, I buy generic, and I have a house I bought all by myself, a small two-bedroom with creaky floors and a yard full of clover. I'm proud of it like a kid showing off a perfect report card. It's the first thing in my life that was mine, fully mine. My mother, Gloria, thinks the word mine is rude. I was carrying a tray of pigs in a blanket into my sister's apartment when the first trigger hit. It was Sophie's 10th birthday. Unicorn plates. Glitter everywhere. My sister Jenna had her influencer smile on. Mom was in the kitchen with a knife in her hand, trimming the edges of a vanilla sheet cake like it had personally offended her. "You finally made it," she said, not looking up. "Did you bring the papers?" "Hi to you, too," I said, balancing the tray. "What papers?" She flicked a crumb off the knife. "Don't play dumb, Laura. The papers. Quit claim. We sign it, we fix the family situation. Jenna needs stability. Sophie needs stability." I felt my stomach dip. I'd told her no already. Twice. "I didn't bring anything," I said. "We can talk another time." Jenna floated in, lipstick perfect like nothing had ever gone wrong for her. "Mom said you'd take care of it today," she chirped, then kissed my cheek like we were in a commercial. I looked at the table, covered in food I had helped pay for. I looked at Sophie's glitter crown on the counter. My chest tightened. I forced a smile. "Let's just do the party for Sophie." "Fine," my mother said, voice sharp enough to slice, "for Sophie." But the way she gripped the knife told me this wasn't over, not by a long shot. My mom raised us the way she grew up. Tight budgets, tighter expectations, and a belief that the family is one body. You don't ignore a limb. You don't leave one finger to freeze. You says, she rises so. My sister Jenna is 3 years older. She was the pretty one, the one who could cry on cue and twist a conversation like origami. I was the brain. Good with numbers, cold, according to Mom. Because I didn't cry, I calculated. Mom loved both of us, but she moved toward Jenna like gravity moves a tide. If Jenna needed something, we needed it. That's how it worked. Dad died when I was 24. Pancreatic cancer. Quick and mean. Medical bills like a bad dream. I finished paying off my portion of his hospital debt last year. The day I made that final payment, I sat in my car and sobbed into a paper bag like an actor in an old movie. It felt like a chain snapped. I saved. I skipped trips. I kept my old Prius alive with duct tape and YouTube videos. I bought my house at 29 with an HFA loan and a down payment that was 70% my savings and 30% a side hustle I never told anyone about because I was embarrassed I was selling used textbooks and flipping thrift store finds like it was a second job. It was. I stacked pennies and turned them into a deed with my name on it. I framed that deed. I'm not kidding. Then, Jenna's husband gambled away their savings and left. Not a cliche. My actual life. He left a note and a pile of credit card statements. Jenna found out when her card was declined at Whole Foods with a cart full of groceries and Sophie in the seat kicking her heels. I helped that day. I swiped my card and told Jenna, "We'll figure this out." In that moment, I meant it. I kept helping. I paid for Sophie's school shoes. I sent $300 when the car broke down. Mom had me help with her rent once when a tenant didn't pay on time at the duplex she manages for a friend. "We are one," she said. "We will repay you." They didn't. Then Mom's mindset shifted from help Jenna for a bit to you are now the third parent. Private school tuition came up. Mom said, "Sophie can't go to public school. You know how it is." I didn't argue. I offered to help with math tutoring instead. She heard yes and translated it into cash. One night, after I said I couldn't pay another $600 just this month, Mom sent a group text that felt like a contract. We need to formalize this. Jenna and Sophie are moving in with me, but we need stability. Laura, you will sign over the house so we have something secure in our name, and you will contribute $2,200 monthly. I stared at my phone like it was possessed. $2,200 is more than my mortgage and HOA combined. It's more than my take-home has room for after I pay for literally existing. I wrote, no. Mom called immediately. I put her on speaker and looked at my crooked thrift store lamp like it could help me. How dare you say no to your own sister, she said. You have the house, you have the salary. Do you want Sophie homeless? I want Sophie safe, I said. I also want to keep the roof I worked for. I can't sign over my house. I cannot pay $2,200. I'll help with groceries. I'll take Sophie after school. But I can't do this. You are cold, she said softly, like a verdict. You forgot where you came from. It got quiet. Then she said, bring the papers to the party. We'll fix it. I didn't bring anything to the party. At the party, I blended in. I poured Capri Suns. I tied a unicorn balloon to a chair. I breathed. Mom kept cutting the cake into perfect squares, like she was trying to control the universe 1 inch at a time. People laughed. Jenna's dad's side didn't show. Typical. My aunt was there, and a couple of Jenna's friends who always talk about yoga classes like it's a religion. Jenna leaned close. Mom said you're being stubborn, she whispered, like it was a joke. Just sign it. Nothing changes. We'll keep it in the family. It's my house. So something would change. God, Laura, why can't you just be nice? The singing started. Happy birthday in a messy, loud chorus. Sophie beamed. I clapped, trying to stay in that moment. After the song, Mom raised her voice. Before we cut, a quick announcement. Family business. Her smile was tight. Mom, I warned her. She ignored me. Laura is going to show what family means by... No, I said. Not loud. Firm. Mom's smile cracked. The room shifted like a storm arriving. How dare you say no to your own sister, you ungrateful girl, she snapped. And before I could move, she lifted the cake with both hands and smashed it down over my head. Frosting. Silence. Forks stopped mid-air. I stood there, frosting sliding down my cheek, and heard my own voice come out steady and weirdly calm. I have no idea what I'm capable of. The entire room went silent. I didn't cry. My face itched. Vanilla and sugar dripped down my collarbone. I took the paper towels my aunt handed me and blotted my eyes. I set the ruined plate on the counter. I looked at Sophie first. She was frozen, eyes huge, a paper crown tilted on her head. My heart cracked. I'm going to go, I said to Sophie gently. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll have our own cupcake party, okay? She nodded slowly, a little robot nod. Jenna reached for her, but Sophie didn't move. I felt a hot bubble of rage and grief and something like clarity. Mom broke her own cake. I didn't do this. No one spoke. The room buzzed with embarrassment. Mom started to sputter, but I walked past her, through the glitter and the unicorns and the perfect squares of cake dissolving into a mess. I wiped frosting off the back of my neck and kept walking. In the hallway, Jenna grabbed my elbow. You can't leave like this, she hissed. You started it. I said no. That's all I did. You're dramatic. You always make things about you. I literally do not. I don't make anything about me. That's the problem.
I left. I drove home with the window down and frosting drying on my skin like glue. I thought of all the times I sat at kitchen tables and paid bills that weren't mine. I thought of how many times I chose peace and got war anyway. In my driveway, I sat with the car off and the night pressing in. My phone buzzed nonstop. Texts, calls, a family group chat blowing up. I didn't read them. I showered. The water ran white. I watched the frosting swirl down the drain and felt something heavy leave my chest. Then I did what I'm good at. I made a plan. First, I changed my locks. I'd given Mom a spare once when the bathroom flooded. I drove to Home Depot at 8:45 p.m. and installed a new deadbolt with a YouTube video propped on the sink. I put the old key in a drawer and stared at it like it was a relic from a religion I no longer practiced. Second, I froze like credit. I didn't think my mom would open an account in my name. I also didn't think she'd smash cake on my head. I wasn't interested in finding out what new thing I didn't think she was capable of. Third, I emailed HR. I asked them to note on my file that I had a family situation and might have unwanted visitors. I cringed writing it. I hated being a problem, but I needed my job boundaries protected. Fourth, I called the therapist. The soonest appointment was in a week. I took it and put it in my calendar, like a doctor visit I couldn't cancel. Finally, at midnight, I wrote a letter in the Notes app. Bullet points. Clear. No apologies. I am not signing over my house. I am not paying $2,200 monthly. I will contribute $100 monthly to a 529 for Sophie, deposited directly, not to Mom or Jenna. I will continue to be in Sophie's life if there is no money talk in front of her. I will not discuss my finances with you. Any threats, harassment, or unannounced visits will end contact for a minimum of 60 days. If you need help finding resources, legal aid, school programs, jobs, I will send links, not cash. I went to bed and slept like my body had been carrying weight for 10 years and finally put it down. The next morning, I sent the letter to Mom and Jenna. I removed myself from the family group chat. Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was all ice and sugar. I can't believe you, Laura. After all I did, after all we did as a family, you will regret this. Jenna texted, so you're done with us? Cool. Blocked. 2 hours later, Aunt Maria called. I saw the cake, she said, voice cracking. I'm not going to pretend that was okay. I sat on my stoop with a mug of coffee. Thank you, I said. My chest loosened. Days passed, then weeks. At work, I answered phones and scheduled patients and felt an ache every time a mom and daughter came in together laughing. At home, I planted herbs in small pots and put up shelves by myself. It felt both good and lonely. Boundaries are quiet. No one celebrates them for you. Sophie sent me a Roblox friend request. I accepted. We played quietly for an hour on a Tuesday, building blocky houses and running through virtual fields. She typed, "Are you mad at Mom?" I typed, "I love you very much." Adults are figuring things out. Meanwhile, Mom sent a long email with the subject line, "Family Settlement." She attached a spreadsheet with expenses: private school, car, phone plans, gas, groceries. She wrote, "We need $2,200 to make this fair. You have a house. It is selfish to hoard." I replied with my own spreadsheet. Income after tax, $4,180 a month. Mortgage, $1,580 a month. HOA, $120. Utilities, $210. Insurance, $145. Car, $260. Gas, $90. Food, $300. Student loan, $183. Therapy, $120. Savings, $300. Buffer, $300. What was left? Around $372 on a good month. This is reality. I am not hoarding. I am living. I will not go into debt because you think I can. She wrote back, "Money is cold. You are cold." I stared at my screen and whispered to myself, like a mantra, I am not cold. I am clear. 2 days later, someone rang my doorbell at 7 a.m. I looked through the peephole. Mom. I didn't open the door. "Laura," she called, voice soft, "please talk to me." "I will talk to you at a cafe, not here." She was quiet for a long minute. Then, "Who are you? You think you're better than us now?" "No, I think I'm finally me." She left. She slammed the gate so hard it rattled my windows.
I cried after she left. Then I made breakfast. Then I went to work. Then I went to therapy and said the words, "I'm afraid my mom will never forgive me." The therapist asked, "What would she be forgiving you for?" And I stared at the tissue box for a long time. Closure didn't come in a big movie moment. It came in the small scenes that stitched together. Jenna texted me at 11 p.m. one night, weeks later. "I got a job," she wrote. "Front desk at a gym. Not glamorous, but it's something." I felt something unwind inside me. "Proud of you," I typed. "Truly." She didn't reply, but a week later she asked if I could watch Sophie for 2 hours on Saturday while she trained. "No money talk during drop-off," I said. She replied with an eye roll emoji and fine. I took it. Sophie and I baked cupcakes. We wore paper crowns. She put frosting on my nose. I laughed so hard I snorted. She laughed too and said, "Grandma was scary that day." I said, "Yeah, we didn't hide it." "Grown-ups make mistakes," I said. I should have left earlier when she started yelling. Sophie nodded like she was filing it away. Mom finally reached out after 2 months. "Coffee?" she wrote. "Public place, I promise." I said yes. At the cafe, she looked smaller. Not physically, just less sure. "I was wrong," she said quietly. "About the cake, about yelling. I was scared." "I know. I was scared too." She stared at me. "You made a plan," she said, like a compliment and a complaint. "I make plans when I'm terrified," I said, smiling a little. She took a breath. "She can't promise I understand you," she said. "But I don't want to lose you. I don't want to be lost, but the price for me can't be the deed to my house or my whole paycheck." We sat. We drank coffee. We didn't fix everything, but she didn't ask for money that day. She asked about my garden. I told her about the basil. We were 2 adults at a table, not one adult and one open wallet. Here's the moral I keep taped inside my kitchen cabinet. Saying no doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you responsible. There is no prize for burning your life down to keep other people warm. Love needs boundaries to stay love. Without them, it turns into a bill you can never pay. I still bring cupcakes to birthdays. I still say yes sometimes. But I sign my yes with my own hand on my own terms. And my house key lives on my own ring.